Good evening. It's claimed that the public purse in East Yorkshire could lose out on potentially hundreds of thousands of pounds in a deal to sell a council-owned asset. It's alleged that land south of Bridlington could be sold off at significantly less than its market value. A BBC Look North investigation has found that the deal proposed involved the leader of the council, Stephen Parnaby, and the director of planning, Alan Menzies. The council is adamant the deal offers value for money. Caroline Bilton has this report.
This large piece of land is owned by the East Riding of Yorkshire Council. It's used as a golf course. Bridlington Golf Club is the tenant here. With its stunning sea views, this land is a valuable asset to the local authority.
Bridlington itself is not the most valuable town in Yorkshire, but the south side, sea views, there is a big premium for that.
There are plans to declare this large piece of land surplus to the local authority's requirements and to sell it to the golf club for £750,000 in a proposal involving the leader of the council, Stephen Parnaby, and the director of planning and economic regeneration, Alan Menzies. The plan is to build up to 22 homes here on this prime land with its desirable sea views. And next to the clubhouse, there are plans for a hotel. But there are some who believe this has involved a bending of rules, something the council strongly disputes. Bruce Collinson has worked as a chartered surveyor in Yorkshire for more than 40 years.
There have been two breaches of policy because the planning policy for Bridlington would not normally permit building houses that far south. And there is an assumption in all local authorities to get best value. They bang on about it. And they're not getting best value as far as I can see.
We are led to believe this was the deal put forward by the council. The council sell the 116 acres to the golf club for £750,000. The golf club, however, is in financial dire straits. So it's suggested in order to purchase the land, the golf club sell off their 16th hole with its sea views to a preferred developer, raising the funds it needs. And to secure its long-term future, it's suggested the golf club also build a hotel. All of this was discussed at an extraordinary general meeting of the golf club held 4 years ago. These are the minutes of that meeting. They tell us that a plan was suggested by Mr. Parnaby and Mr. Menzies. They asked the chairman of the golf club if they'd ever thought of buying it, which apparently surprised the chairman. According to the minutes, the council came back with some figures. They suggested that the golf club find a preferred builder. 3 builders were contacted by the golf club. 2 were not interested as the site was not big enough. The 3rd was very interested.
To get best value, you put property on the open market. You let the World and his wife have a go at it, rather than a closed list of 3, of whom we understand 2 declined to bid. This is not transparent, and in terms of commercial expediency, this is not expedient.
The preferred builder had offered £1.65 million for the 3.5 acres, the 16th hole, a price which the minutes say had been agreed and verified by both the district valuer and the council. The sale of the land to a developer would give them the funds they needed, but were they getting the best possible price?
I've tested this in 3 different ways, 3 orthodox ways of valuing building land, and every single one of them comes out at north of 2 million. It comes out about 2.25 million in comparison with the figure which we understand they're proposing to sell it at, 1.65 million. It's a third off.
2 other reputable house builders have also told us that they too would expect to pay over £2 million. We've also learned that plans were well advanced before approval to dispose of the land was sought by Cabinet and councillors. David Robson is the local ward councillor on the East Riding Council. He represents the area, including the golf course. He's been refused access to information relating to the value of the land on the basis that it is commercially sensitive.
The decision to make this surplus to requirements and offer the golf club the deal should have been signed off by full council, and that didn't take place until October 2014, yet the deal was put to the golf club on the 31st of July 2014, 3 months before the council signed it off. If it secured the golf club as a golf club forever, then I would support it. But
You don't believe it will, though, do you?
No, I do not. I think ultimately this, if I came back in 50 years' time, this would be a housing estate.
Full planning has been granted for a 19-bed hotel at the golf club. Outline planning has been granted for up to 22 homes. The sale of the land is still being discussed.
And Caroline Bilton is joining me in the studio now. What have the council said today?
Well, I've met with Alan Menzies, the Director of Planning and Economic Regeneration at the East Riding of Yorkshire Council today. They are adamant that they have received best value for the council taxpayers of East Yorkshire. They dispute the fact that the idea to sell the land came from them. They say the golf club approached the council asking to buy the land.
My recollection of the meeting, which was over 4 years ago, was that meeting was at their request. In fact, I'm sure it was at their request. We went to Bridlington to have a conversation because they were encountering some financial difficulties and they needed to discuss their options.
And Mr Parnaby went along to that meeting?
I took him.
Yes. And is it normal for the leader to go along to a meeting of that nature?
The leader of the council meets private sector concerns and interests every working day, and it's a natural part of being a leader of a council for 28 years.
Has the council, in your opinion, acted in a completely transparent way in relation to this deal?
The council has been open, honest and direct in all respects in dealing with this matter, fully in line with the council's constitution. All values have been checked by the district valuer and by the council's external auditor, and so this proposal has been handled in the most appropriate manner.
Alan Menzies, the Director of Planning, talking to me earlier, Peter. Well, as we go to air tonight, the council has not completed the sale of any of the land. The discussions are still ongoing. Mr Menzies stressed that there would be a very significant capital receipt from this sale, and the money would see investment in education, in social services, in highways and transport. There has been a golf course on this land in Bridlington for over 100 years. Whether these plans will secure its future as one remains to be seen.
Caroline, thank you very much indeed. Caroline Bilton with that report.